evening, guys.
Congrats, Coach. We'll go straight into questions.
Yeah.
Phil, during the week, I think you said that Providence Park needs to be you need to have one of the great Providence Park nights, and you certainly got that tonight. What can you say about going up a goal, them coming back into it, and then equalizing at the death, about the mentality of this team?
Well, I think we owed our supporters that kind of performance. I think that's first and foremost. I think you could feel at the end. Well, you could feel all game. They were sucking the ball into the net for us. Yeah, I think it's time for us to be really neutral, really with our feet on the ground. It was my first playoff experience of Providence Park, and I've got to say it is one of the most iconic, I think, MLS venues, I think, in terms of the franchise that we've got here, the stadium, the supporters, the atmosphere. I actually thought it was a fantastic game of football from both teams. Both teams just, it was what was that fight? The Hagler, the Thriller in Manila, when they were just throwing haymakers the whole game, and it was just dog eat dog, and it was a fight, and we had to keep going. We took some risk with our tactics. We took some risk with our substitutions. And I was always told when I was younger off my father that sometimes in life you've got to take risks to win. And tonight we took a lot of risks to win the game of football against an outstanding side, and we came in with the right result, and we lived to fight another day to go down to San Diego. And what I loved from both teams was the passion. Both teams at the end, they see their team, our team. It was on the edge all the time. It was like you playing on the edge, and that's top level elite football, where you're playing on the edge, where you think, oh, we could have 3 sent off here, or we could score 4, or they could score. I think that's the level that we need to be at, and I'm proud of every single player. I thought the substitutions, I thought the boys coming into the game were incredible, from Smith to Lassiter to O'Meara and Paredes and Gage. I thought the 5 of them were just, they give us that push forward, and we're super happy.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to kind of talk about a comment you had made earlier in the season, and I don't even remember what match it was, but there was some argument, some little tiff on the field, and you were happy in that your players stepped up and protected each other and fought for each other. And I saw that all over today, especially with Velda and Finn Sermon and some of these new guys. And so I just kind of wanted to ask your perspective on the way this team has gelled, even with the new guys coming in, and the energy that is just so different than what we saw 2 months ago.
Well, I mean, we've faced a lot of adversity, I think, and you could say the last 2 months haven't gone as we've wanted them. We've suffered. We knew it was going to take Christoph time to acclimatise, but I think what you're seeing now, you're seeing a real star. We had to get used to playing with him. We lost Santi Moreno, who was an important cog, and we had to change our style a little bit. And on Wednesday we had a training session, and I'd say that we started at maybe 10 o'clock, and by 11:20 the whole team had gone home. Why? Because they probably hated me because of the pressure I was putting on him in training, because of the demands that I'd put on them in training. They were emotional. They were out the comfort zone. They were arguing between themselves. And on Wednesday we had to take them to places where they'd never been, and that was really. And I went home myself that night, and I said to them the next day, I said, when I went home, I asked them if they had doubts, and they said, yeah, major doubts with what we were trying to do. And I said, I did too. I said, but this is the only way we're going to get a result. And so the next day we sat down, we watched the film, and it's never as bad as you think. And then after the film, we went outside, and I knew at that moment we were ready. Because it's sometimes you've got to suffer, you've got to face adversity, you've got to really get yourself out that comfort zone where it's hard. Life's hard. When you're out your comfort zone, you're going to feel nerves, butterflies, fear. That's fine. We're human. Everyone has fears. And so tonight we went into the game with no fear, and that's what we're going to do next week in San Diego. I forgot where we were going.
Coach, I want to ask you a little bit more about that training session you just mentioned. Yeah. What about it made it such like an intense session? Were there things that you were practicing then that you implemented tonight, or?
No, we just made it chaotic. And you know, like when you put 8-year-olds on a playground and they just chase after the ball everywhere, I made it chaotic, because what happens in chaos, you see people's true characters, you see their emotions, you see their fears and insecurities, and it's hard. We said after the training session, oh, this was hard. Good, because tonight was hard. Tonight was going to be hard, so we had to see, or we had to test them. You know, I think we do everything for these players, but I think on Wednesday what we did, we took them well out of their comfort zone to experience what we wanted to do tonight. And they all left the training ground. I came home. I came out my office about 12:15. The whole ground had emptied. They'd gone home in a huff. They'd gone home sulky. They'd gone home angry. They'd gone home, just in that mood. And then the next day we came in. We got a coffee, we went to the video room, and I made them sit through the whole training session. And at the end of the training session, I asked them what they thought, and they went, we like that. Because it's never as bad as you think, but when you're emotionally and mentally not in the right place, you think differently when you've got clarity and neutrality in your mind. And so Thursday morning we went out and trained, you was there, and the energy, the belief was there. And do you know what, we've got to do that again, because we've achieved nothing yet.
Hi, Coach. The first half was one of the best halves this team has played all year, particularly with the way you guys were able to press San Diego in their own half. Just what was the game plan for that, particularly just trying to keep them from being able to get dangerous on the break?
I don't know if you remember the first when we went away. We were in that mid-block shape, and we'd done really well in San Diego. And it's something that we might have to do in the next leg, but we were in that mid-block shape, and then after the game we lose 2-1, everyone's saying, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda have, and what I felt about today was, I didn't want to wake up on Sunday morning thinking shoulda, woulda, coulda have. I wanted to wake up on Sunday morning and say, well, do you know what, we've give our absolute all, we've done everything we can, we've not left anything on the field, and so we had to just tweak the way that we wanted to play. Now Sunday is going to be a different game. It's going to be a different tactical game. We're away from home. It's different. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to work all week on a different tactic, on tweaks. We've got Jimmy Forey back, but what I would say is that the team that started tonight, I thought was sensational.
Profe, hoy podemos hablar hasta chino y español también.
Sí.
Estamos emocionados. Una emoción tan grande como la que se vivió en el 2015, toda la gente estaba metida en este encuentro. ¿Qué hizo diferente esta vez para que los muchachos enseñaran toda esa garra, toda esa energía que echaron hoy?
Es cuando en nuestra vida tenemos momentos cuando tenemos una decisión para luchar o para quitar. Antes del partido los pregunté, tenemos dos opciones, es 100%, dame todos, o mañana vamos a vacaciones. Todo el grupo, el cuerpo técnico, el dueño, Ned, todo el staff, queremos una semana más en el trabajo, porque esta temporada no está terminando para nosotros. Entonces, la decisión para todos fue, vamos adelante, vamos a luchar. Y con esta mentalidad, con esta actitud, con este espíritu, yo creo que nosotros somos un equipo muy dangerous, peligro, muy peligro en este torneo. Yo quiero decir, este partido, San Diego contra nosotros, es el mejor partido. Los dos partidos son los mejores en los playoffs ahora. Es con todos, con goals, con actions, con tarjetas rojas, con tarjetas amarillas, con todos. Y el domingo, el siguiente partido, seguro que vamos a el mismo. ¿Ok? Gracias.
One last question, sorry.
Estoy cansado.
One quick one.
I have to feel sorry. I have to feel sorry for my wife tonight, because my son kicked off in a playoff game at 6 o'clock, and I kicked off in a playoff game at 6:30. I have two bosses, one at home and one here. I have one boss here that is incredibly happy in Merritt, and I have one boss at home that is, she watched one game on a laptop and watched one game live, and she must have gone through incredible emotions. One for my son who lost the game in the playoffs, and one for me who I won. So she's probably at home now in a nice bath thinking, like, happy for me but sad for my son. So I want to tell her that she's the best. She's been firing me up all week, and she deserves we say in England, she deserves a cuddle tonight.
Phil, Zach from AFTN Canada, no worries. I just wondering if you could speak to a little bit the MLS playoff format. A couple of years ago, they made this change to the best of three, which for football purists is a weird thing. It's different. It's very North American.
Yeah.
At the same time, what they've allowed is for every one of the 8 teams that actually make the playoffs proper is to have an incredibly meaningful home playoff game.
Yeah.
Right, like coming into today, you knew you needed to win, so you knew you could get the whole house behind you, because all that mattered was winning this one game. The score of the previous game didn't matter; it's done and dusted, and now you get to play on. How kind of?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I had to explain to my brother this morning that we didn't score an away goal. It wasn't 2-1 in aggregate. My sister texted me saying, why does it say 3 games? Is it not just home and away? Yeah, so that there's people in the other parts of the world that obviously don't know the format. But what I would say is I think you look at Charlotte, NYC, you think about that game on Friday for Charlotte, and NYC is a hell of a game in their stadium. Nashville, Miami today, I think Nashville won, didn't they? Did they win? Yeah, they're going back to the 3rd series. You think about them 3rd games next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're going to be the best games. It's going to be do or die, you know what I mean? So I think the format at this moment in time is really good. It keeps everyone in the game. And we're just glad to be going to the 3rd game. I'm glad to be going down to San Diego, a beautiful part of the world. It's a great stadium. We had a great atmosphere in San Diego last time. They've got probably one of the best coaches in the MLS so far this season, and they've got a fantastic team and a great organisation. And I think that deserves respect for what they've achieved. And that means what we've done over the last 2 games means that we've got to go down there and play even better than we've done tonight.